Good morning, friends. So I have my new microphone, and apparently you can't see it. Let me see. Nope, not going to be able to see it, which is nice. It's kind of sticking up. So it's right here. So that's the top of it right there. So I don't know why it doesn't show up when I lower the computer down. Hi, this is Steve. And I've not made a video for 2 days. And I think it's been some time since I didn't make a video in a 2 day period of time. I probably had a few 1 day periods of time where I didn't make a video, but not too many 2 day periods. Oh, there it is. Now you can see the microphone is standing up a little taller. That's it right there. Oh, I can maybe show it to you this way. Here it is. I'll show you. You can't get the bottom in it. You can only get the top. So, yeah, that's the microphone. And I've done some tests on it, but I'll have to give you, my adoring fans, an opportunity to kind of weigh in. Like you could hear it or you couldn't hear it. But this is going to bother me because I'll just be staring at that. Hi, this is Steve. And it's been an adventure the last few days. And I've released and integrated most of the energies of that adventure. And I feel like we've got more to come, more adventures. And really, I feel like it's our state of consciousness that represents the adventure more than the adventure itself. So I'm having a little trouble talking because I broke a tooth off and I'm finding it next to impossible to get it repaired right now. And it's right there. And that's tooth, I think, number 9. It's so complicated just counting the tooth from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever. And then so it goes like to there, and then it goes back again. I don't know. And then I don't know. I've looked at it numerous times. I got to graduate school. I studied the peripheral and the central nerve systems as courses. I got A's, I think, in both courses. I might have been B, but it beat the heck out of the rest of the people in the class who had a much more difficult time memorizing basically the states. This is what the peripheral nerve system is, memorizing the states, their capitals, major cities, and highways. That's peripheral nerve system. The central nerve system is like, it's not even something, thank goodness, if over 45 years ago that I actually studied it, and that I don't practice chiropractic anymore, so I don't even have to remember. And I didn't. I've got my chiropractor. He's just like, okay, this is cranial nerve number whatever. And I'm like, whatever, dude. As long as you got that in your consciousness and you can do something with it, I'm in. In terms of remembering what cranial nerve 5 does, yeah, there's just no possibility of that. So today, I know I've already gone on and on for 3 minutes at least, 5 minutes. I've gone on and on for 5 minutes. So let's just pop up a healing field. So you can state out loud, I choose to connect to the healing field we're going to work with today. And I connect to my deep self. And if you're really connected, really embodying your connection to your deep self, you will feel a deep state of peace. You'll find yourself inside your spine, your consciousness. So one thing you can start to play with is where am I experiencing what I'm experiencing from? And I point here because that's kind of my reference point for my experience of what's going on here. I'm oftentimes experiencing it from here. So I'm like, oh, I feel this tension in my chest. Well, where do I feel that tension in my chest from? Do I feel it like I feel it from the tension in my chest? But my awareness of self is where? Is it in the tension in the chest, or am I outside the tension in the chest, aware of its existence? And I find myself oftentimes in this location, aware of this location. And I find I'm also in this location. So, and this may be new. My awareness of what I might call the internal and external world have possibly been more from the emotions, from the emotional realm. So I feel like I'm converting. I'm converting to from the religion of emotionality to the religion of mentality. So I find that some people who really work with the energies of the world from a mental standpoint, well, are much less emotional. And it's not like I don't want to experience emotions. I've been, air quote, I've been emotional my whole life. And I can't remember if it was something I wrote or no, it might have been in the session with Arlen where I was releasing the energies associated with crybaby or, whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was, but as long as we're clearing it, if we really clear it, it may be that we don't need to talk about it anymore, except as something we may have cleared. The last couple days were difficult. This is Saturday, January 18th. And Thursday, which would have been the 16th, was my fourth class with Thomas Hubel in relationship to clearing the energies of our ancestral line and their effect on us and future generations. It was Thursday morning from 9 till 11, and there were I think, I'm not certain of this, but I think there were 1,000 people online online, probably on Zoom, taking the course. It's a 5-month course. I think there's going to be 10 of these times with Thomas Hubel. There are probably 10 integration sessions after Thomas has stirred the pot. And then we're going like, And then we have a course by his master students who are, doctors of psychology and trauma therapists and working with people and individuals and groups in their own right while they study with Thomas and learn how to experience the world as Thomas does. And I'm learning to do that. And I'm learning how to be a better listener. And I'm learning how to stay in relationship with someone during a difficult time for them or for me. But how to stay in relationship while I'm experiencing difficulties. I'll just say this about, we connect to the healing field. And so all of this came off of, I connect to my deep self and feeling the peace and feeling yourself go inside your spine, which inside your spine, supposedly, air quote, inside your spine is your Akashic record of all your lifetimes and the lifetimes of the world. And it's really probably the library of the Akashic records of human existence. There may be more than just the human existence, but the human existence, the library, the Akashic library or retrieval library for all experiences, including your own and all your ancestors, may live inside your spine, or that may just be your access to it, but they may live actually inside. This may be your library. It's the library of all events. So the librarian, I love air quotes, and especially this one person just does air quotes, and I just love their air quotes. The librarian of your Akashic records of your existence and all existence across infinity and beyond. Quite possibly, this isn't something I know, this is something I'm stating as a possible truth, that the guardian of your library is the deep self. And the deep self may not be guarding it, but the deep self may be the librarian that can lead you to what you're looking for within your own Akashic library. And when I say that everything is connected, it's not an idea. It is an idea too. But it's not just an idea. It can become an experience, and you don't want to necessarily have it happen too quickly. Because mystical experiences sometimes expand consciousness quite rapidly and leave the individual who's experiencing that expansion somewhat non-functional. Thomas Hubel went into, I'm just trapped by the Akashic records, but Thomas Hubel, from what I understand, I wasn't there, but it's maybe in my Akashic records, Thomas Hubel spent 4 years from his mid-20s, I'm going to say approximately mid to late 20s. He spent 4 years in a silent retreat. He dropped out of medical school, said, that's not quite what I need to be doing. I need to go inside and find out what it is that I need to be doing. So he did. He went inside and over the course of 4 years found himself and found his consciousness awakening. At which point, and I'm making this up, but I have also read some things. But at this point, so I'm making this up, but it might be true. At which point, he knew what he needed to do in the world. And if you want to know what that is, you can read his book. Or you can watch his gazillion videos. I would say that he is an awakened one, that he is the one of the one who is currently my teacher. And primarily, I chose him as my teacher when I think I was either reading his book or listening to one of his videos when he talked about the stages of awakening and basically nailed every single one of my experiences in this process of beginning to waken up. And I said, if he can describe my experience that explicitly, he's someone I want to study with because I want to know how to do what he does. And he teaches people how to do what I do. So I've already been through many, many of these stages of awakening. But I have resisted and hesitated from openly acknowledging my full participation in the oneness. I know, but maybe don't know, but I know that there is this oneness. I've experienced this oneness out here. And I'm close to experiencing this oneness in here. But the difference between experiencing the oneness out here and experiencing the oneness in here, the difference is free will. I've always had issues with the term free will. Because I've always felt like free will was such a cop-out. That the reason this world could be so dysfunctional, which I perceived it to be, so I perceived this world from a very young age, particularly my family, but then it expanded out to the whole world. I perceived it as completely dysfunctional and for the most part without any regard for human or other existence and life. That was where I started as a child, going like, this place is messed up. And when I tried to point that out to my family of origin, they basically said, if you don't want to get slapped down continuously throughout the course of your life with us for these 18 years, I would keep your mouth shut. And, there was a few blows involved to ensure that I just closed it. But I escaped from that at 18. I just moved and went on. I touched back in a few times. I moved back into the house when I was around 21 or 22. I moved back in with my parents. My dad, said, yeah, room and board. This is how much you'll have to pay me to move back in to put up with you for any period of time. And it was only going to be, under a year, but right around a year. We did great. Those 3 years I was away, there was some maturation that took place. I realized that this is what a person's home is. Their home is their castle. And all the little princelings vying for attention, vying for power within the castle are just um, are just kind of a bunch of assholes. And I was one of four, and those were the princelings. And then there was the princess, and she managed she managed to make it through, not completely intact, but she managed to make it through, having two older brothers, two younger brothers, and being that kind of the apple of the father's eye, and the one he attempted to protect, but obviously didn't. There wasn't one of the five offspring that came out intact. Not one. I say this from beginning. You're connected to the field, and we're working some energy. And you can go ahead in your own mind if you know about, I connect to my higher self, I connect to the highest self, I connect, I ground myself to healing center of the earth, I open myself to healing power of the one, I let go of anything not useful to me now, and I choose to work with a Hathors. Those are all words you can say. And you can stop the video and run it back and listen to it again and do it. And then we can ask the higher self, and we've already done this, but I'll go ahead. We can ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be the highest good, release, and integrate at this time. It's all happening, but we can say those words, and you can kind of get the feeling of you going back to it, and then inviting all the souls. So they're all the souls are in human bodies who go back to release and integrate the energy of this event. They're all in human bodies. We invite those souls to go through the portal of time back to the event that would be of the highest good to release and integrate at this time. And so we're all back at that event. And we're all releasing, integrating the energies of that event on a soul level. And we're also in bodies listening to this person who's been trained to take people back to these events. And then this person, me, says, I ask that we be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And you can say, oh gosh, we should have been put in that field of protection earlier. You're good at protecting yourself. The field of protection is like a big dome or a big ball around this whole, it's around the world. It's a world healing field. It's around the whole earth. But we're going to chunk it down. We're going to imagine it small so it's manageable. If we think that the small group, so 900 subscribers or so, 900 subscribers, of whom occasionally 60 click on the video, and it says, 60 watched, but they didn't. A lot of them watched like 2 minutes and went, oh God, the guy's just yapping. But at some point, people realize, wow, he's yapping, but something's happening. And I'm paying attention to what's happening while he's yapping. Because something's happening, because he is connected. And is he some grand poobah? I would say no. Does he want to be a grand poobah? No. Does he want to be a guide for you in human form? So I'm in human form, and you are in human form, or reptilian, or blue monkey, or whatever, but you're in some sort of form, and I can guide you in very specific things, and those specific things are I can guide you, and the way I guide you is that I ask your higher self to take us. So let's say I'm the tour guide and the higher self is the driver of the bus. Just give you that metaphor. So let's say we're going through a tunnel. Basically, simply, we're going through a tunnel and we're going back in time and space. I'm trying to go over there, but I can't. Maybe if I, yeah, I'm going over there. So we're going through the portal of time to the event. So the higher self is the driver of the bus, taking the passengers to the event, the passengers on a soul level. So it's, you can imagine it as thousands of buses just going through, picking up all the souls, the higher self, letting all the souls know that we're going to be clearing this event that you've never gotten over. And there's going to be literally hundreds of thousands of souls at most of these events. Sometimes more. There's been events where there have been millions of souls at the events. And you can say, wow, how do you do that? How do you hold the space for 1 million souls to release and integrate the intense energies of an unresolved major event? And I'd say, like, it's best not to think about it. Just imagine yourself doing it, and then find yourself doing it, and then convince yourself that you actually are doing it, and then find a way for it to be easier for you, because you don't want to basically collapse your own system attempting to help others to heal. What good are you for anyone if you can't maintain your own functional system energetically while you are attempting to support the world to heal itself? If you can't do it in a way that is healing for you, then you best get out of the racket, out of the healing racket, because it will take you down. Debbie. It could. It didn't, but it could. If you tap in at the level that I tap in. So if you tap into the world at the level that I tap into that world, and you haven't done it in stages over lifetimes, and you probably have done it in stage over lifetime, but you can get kind of cooked by the heat. And it will change you, and depending on your level of fluidity, the changes will either be gentle or difficult. And one always has the option, when working with their deep self, their higher self, their highest self, being grounded at the healing center of the earth, being open to the healing power of the One, being guided by the seventh dimensional beings, the Hathors, one always has the option of asking, is this in my highest good? And if you get a yes, it will be difficult or easy depending on your need to hang on to the reality that you'll be taken through. You, like, we're, I can't speak for everybody. Let's just speak for the majority of people. We're attached to the reality that we have, no matter how dysfunctional it is. So there's a story that if you, and just mildly gross, but if you toss a frog into boiling water, the frog will jump out of the water. If you put heat underneath a frog in water and just bring it up to a boil, the frog will just get cooked. I mean, for people who eat frogs and can handle boiling frogs or lobster or whatever, all that stuff. Some people can do it, other people can't. But it's just a story. And if you're feeling really uncomfortable, that's because of you, not because of the story. You're just making up something, what it would feel like to be a cooked frog. That's okay. But that is what's happening to many of us, is we are and have been taken through a process of things heating up, and it's cooking us. And not necessarily to be eaten, but to be dissolved, still keeping a physical form, hopefully. I'm hoping that I get to keep the form while I'm being dissolved, but I'm being dissolved. And if there's free will, which I have to have a long talk about free will, but if, let's just say there is, that's one way to look at it. If there is free will, I could say I'm choosing this. If I could say it's moving me towards the will of the one, which I choose to fully participate in the will of the one, and I see myself as one of the one, then I don't want to participate in things outside of that one. And you can't, but you can perceive that you're participating in things outside of the one because you pull into yourself and you say, no, that's the one out there, and I'm an individual with free will. And I don't have to participate in any of this cosmic dance. So, the ones who are like, I'm being dissolved, and I'm being dissolved into a consciousness of one, and those are the ones that are going, yes, finally, I've been working on this for lifetimes, and it's finally happening. And those are the people that are being cooked in the water. And the other ones are being the ones that are just being dropped into the boiling water and they're jumping out. And it's not a bad idea, because you're going to get dropped back in the water again. The whole free will thing, it just stops when it comes to the ascension process. Because if you just keep bringing the vibe up and bringing the vibe up and bringing the vibe up, the vibe will change you on all levels. There's no getting around it. Things that you can't carry into this future that we think we want to live in, the things you can't carry into that future have to be left behind. They have to be resolved and finished and left behind. And we're a part of this. And some of us have a very difficult time sometimes, like the past 2 days. Super challenged. Super like, I don't want to do it. It's too painful. Don't push me. I'm not a part of this thing. The oneness isn't working. Whatever. I'm in too much pain. Just save me. Somebody save me. Yeah. And it's kind of embarrassing at times. Yeah. I've been doing this for lifetimes. And wait, how do you drive the vehicle? I've been in vehicle after vehicle after vehicle. We're moving from the age of the Flintstones to the age of the Jetsons. And some of those rocket ships are just going, whoops. Hope nobody was on that one. And I do hope that. I don't know. I think these are all rocket ships controlled by hopefully brilliant people who are not on the ship. Because, you know, yeah, we don't want to lose the ship either. But we definitely, it's much more painful if we lose a ship with a whole bunch of brilliant astronauts who have spent their life for this one moment. Challenger, called a challenging moment. And there were just people on board and maybe monkeys too. I just don't know. It was like the giant arc. Let's take our dysfunction from the earth that we've already pretty much destroyed and are still fighting wars over what's left. Let's take this dysfunction, put it in a capsule, and move it to Mars and colonize Mars. What's wrong with this picture? It's about colonization. And how well overall would you say that colonization has worked out? Has it left us in a better world? Would you say it's the respect of the indigenous people that has got us this far? Would you say that? Or would you say it's the just don't give a shit attitude that allows us to do all this crap to people and animals and plants and the environment and the oceans and the whole freaking thing? It's just a total disregard for life, except how life can benefit me. Well, if it's benefiting me, then what happens to the environment? It doesn't matter if it collapses, because I'm going to be getting on a ship to Mars to terraform Mars unless the ship goes and then I'm like, oh, now I'm free. Now I'm in the oneness. Wow, I should have gotten on that ship a lot earlier. The oneness is a whole lot better than the perception of separation and the dysfunctional behaviors of humanity and aliens, UFOs, other, whoever else there might be out there. But that dysfunction may have caused the destruction of Lemuria, may have caused the destruction of Atlantis, may have caused the destruction of the Mayan population, or that may have just been colonization, may have destroyed Egypt, because it seemed like Egypt was with all those pyramids and all those energy things and all that thing, when it was lit up, if you go back through the Akashic records to Egypt, man, there was some action happening, and Atlantis and Lemuria. And where are they now? Well, Egypt's still sort of there, but their electromagnetic devices aren't necessarily functioning as well as they once did in terms of shifting consciousness. So here we are. Electromagnetic field rising, shifting our consciousness. I had 2 really difficult days in the past few days. I've had 2 difficult days over and over and over again, sometimes weeks of difficult days, in transitioning from this self-absorbed state of it's all about me to this community absorbed state of it's all about all of us. All of us. plant, mineral, mountain, ocean, glacier, oceanic creatures, land creatures, sky creatures, two-legged, four-legged, 12-legged, air breathers, air makers, we either clear this place up individually, collectively, and ancestrally, or who knows how much longer we get to be here in human form. Maybe, like cockroach form, you'll get to be here because, the story is that you can't really kill a cockroach. They used to say the Ford Escort was the cockroach of automobiles. You couldn't kill it. It'd break down, but you couldn't kill it. Okay, so while we did that, we cleared this. So now I asked the higher self to assist all the souls that had returned to the event, possibly millions, to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into their body in present time, right through the crown, with all of his wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, curiosity, and kindness. Peace. To Earth. Because I am Winklill. I am human being. I am cosmic vibratory root. I bring the earth to the sky. I bring the sky to the earth. I am a being of light. Even if I've spray painted myself completely black to block that light, I'm still a light, hidden in the darkness. But the clearer that I get, the more I am Winklill, a cosmic vibratory root, bringing in the light and bringing up the light, both connecting at the level of the heart. And my interest is being what I wrote in my notes when Arlen was giving me my training from 1996 to 1997. I wrote Stephen McLean, Prince of Peace. That's what I want to be remembered as. He was a Prince of Peace. He allowed the peace of the deep self to express itself through him and to be comfortable with the designation of a cosmic vibratory root as who he is and why he is here. I was supposed to do more. I got lost there for a minute. Okay, so I'm back. So I ask all those souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies that we agreed to bring to the earth. A long, long time ago, we said on this date, we're going to bring these energies and we're going to be clear enough to bring them. And I ask all the beings involved to assist all of us here on the ground to bring in, as cosmic vibratory roots, bring in these new energies into the earth now. If you want to pay attention, you can feel all the souls, all the millions of souls who are doing this right now. You can feel the whole thing light up, bringing it directly into the earth, into the healing center of the earth, and then activating it. This was a good one. It was a good one for me. I mean, it was long. It's going to take forever to upload, but okay, last thing is I let the universe and beyond know that this has been done and that it's good. All right. I bring you peace. I bring you love. I bring you deep appreciation for supporting me, because it's not PayPal. It's not, oh, you can be part of my monthly club and just send a donation. But it's none of that. It's like, this is work. And you're a volunteer. You're one of my volunteers to do this job. And I appreciate you for it. It's a sometimes seemingly thankless operation, but it never is from those who are holding the space for us to do it. It's always thankful from there. And the world may not know what we're doing, and that's better. We don't want anybody visiting us and going like, stop that, you're bringing light into the world, stop that. And we would just go, I can't stop it. It just happens. It's just natural. All right, that's it for now. It was real fun on my end, hopefully tolerable on yours, and that was only 47 minutes of time, so that'll take forever to upload. All right, now let's go.